Between the time when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of. Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the crypto realm. So we're going to talk a little bit of regulation, grayscale, and SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. Whoa, she's dropping bombs on the SEC, boy. Damn. So check this out. Banking Committee Chair, U.S. regulators should maybe ban crypto? Oh, man. Senator Sherrod Brown added, though, that banning cryptocurrencies would be very difficult as activity would go offshores. That's right. Bitcoin don't care. U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown has suggested that U.S. federal agencies such as the Securities Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission should maybe consider a ban on cryptocurrencies. Now, I think we all know you can't ban cryptocurrencies. It just does what it wants. It's decentralized. They can't do nothing. We're just going to go ahead and use it anyway. Let's talk about Grayscale here. So, Grayscale, they sued the SEC actually, and they're trying to get an ETF on the go. But no, the government ain't having nothing to do with that. Grayscale will explore returning 20% of investor capital if SEC refuses spot Bitcoin ETF. Grayscale sued the SEC in June after its latest spot Bitcoin ETF application was denied. Yeah, the states, right? They're trying to ban it, thinking of banning it. It's just going to go offshores. Man, they're not doing anything for the innovation of crypto over here in the States and stuff like that. That's for sure. Grayscale Investments is exploring options to return a portion of capital of its flagship Grayscale Bitcoin GBTC product if the Securities and Exchange Commission refuses to approve its spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. Yeah, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing an investor letter. One option is to offer tender for 20% of outstanding GBTC shares, which are currently trading at a 49% discount to net asset value. Yeah, that's not good. Grayscale has been knocked back multiple times in its mission to convert its Bitcoin trust into an ETF, with the SEC citing a lack of regulatory oversight in a brief earlier this month. The letter by Grayscale Chief Executive Michael Sonnensheim attempted to ease concerns among shareholders following a turbulent month across the crypto industry following the collapse of FTX, one of the largest exchanges. Grayscale is owned by the Digital Currency Group and is a sister company of CoinDesk. Grayscale did not immediately respond to requests for comment. In June, Grayscale sued the SEC after the regulator rejected its ETF application. Yeah, they were ready to go. The company saying that vehemently disagreed with the SEC's decision. No shit. So let's talk about this woman here, Hester Pierce, crypto mom. She is like, we need to protect her. We need to support her at every level, man. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce outlines problems with the SEC's Howey test. The crypto mom says the oft-cited standard doesn't fully address the status of decentralized crypto assets. Yes. So she talks about this in depth. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce says the so-called Howey test used by the Securities and Exchange Commission to determine whether a digital asset should be classified as a security has some limitations. Yeah. The test stems from a landmark Supreme Court case decided in 1946, establishing criteria under which a financial agreement qualifies as an investment contract and is therefore subject to federal securities law. As it relates to crypto, Pierce described why the test is so significant for the industry. There's been a lot of emphasis on the Howey test in the crypto world because a lot of these things were sold as tokens, plus a promise that we're going to build a network, she said on the latest episode of Decrypt's GM. The court case that led to the creation of the Howey test centered on the sale of units in a Florida-based citrus grove development, where investors could share in the profits of efforts to cultivate produce. And it determined an investment contract is a contract transaction or scheme whereby a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profits solely from the efforts of the promoter or a third party. In August, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler said many tokens may be unregistered securities because folks buying these tokens are anticipating profits, and there's a small group of entrepreneurs and technologists standing up and nurturing the projects. Pierce argued that the existence of an investment contract doesn't just center on the asset but also the promises that are attached to it. He put forth the opinion that the two components are separate from each other. Just because I sold you the orange grove as part of an investment contract doesn't turn the orange grove into a security, she said. The orange grove plus the promises I made you about how I was going to tend the orange grove and generate profits for you, that was the securities offering. Damn. So, whether or not a crypto asset itself is a security is something that isn't addressed by the Howey test, said Pierce. You can say, well, look, a lot of these initial sales sure look like security offerings, but then the question is that token, is the crypto asset itself a security? She asked. That's a much harder question to answer, and I think it's one that people answer differently. The agency's reliance on the Howey test is also somewhat flawed, said Pierce, because of the interpretation's apparent permanence. In 2018, the SEC's director for the Division of Corporation Finance, William Hinman, said he believes Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities because they had become sufficiently decentralized, a threshold undefined by the Howey test. We've said that Orange Grove is going to be treated as a security in perpetuity, she said. I don't know when it stops being a security, and that doesn't make sense. Damn, this woman is smart. Pierce said providing clarification on how a digital token could go from being considered a security to a commodity would address some criticisms that actors in the crypto space have with the SEC's regulatory approach. If we were more precise, I think that there would be fewer objections to applying the Howey test and saying, hey, that initial time when you sold it, that might well have been a securities offering, but that doesn't mean that the token continues to be a security for the rest of its life, she said. Damn, I like this one. Whether or not specific digital assets are considered a security is a matter that Gensler has largely tiptoed around since he was appointed as head of the SEC. Gensler has only publicly said that Bitcoin isn't a security and refrained from commenting on other coins. A lot turns on whether something is a security, and so that's why we have to get clarity around that question, said Pierce. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. Yeah, we have to protect this woman. Since Pierce joined the SEC in 2018, she said there's been no real positive movement on crypto regulation despite lots of conversation and efforts to better understand the technology, describing the lack of progress as frustrating. Yes, it's very frustrating to everybody. She also said that inaction of government is impacting the way people operate in the crypto space. Yeah, because nobody's really clear on the regulation. The wheels of regulation and legislation move very slowly, and I think that can both be good and bad, she said. In the crypto world, we've seen for a long time that there's been a lack of clarity, which I think has led people to do things that they wouldn't have done and they're being wouldn't have done had there been clear guidelines. Pierce explained she wasn't specifically thinking about crypto when she became a part of the SEC, but gradually gravitated towards the technology as part of a focus on how the SEC was facilitating or inhibiting innovation. big time. I think it's great that people are challenging the way we've done things. Sometimes those challenges are going to fall flat, and sometimes they're going to succeed, he said. But we just need to make sure that it's not regulation that's picking winners and losers. It's people who are picking winners and losers. Damn, you got to respect this woman. Holy cow. So, regulation, they want to ban it, regulate it. They don't know what to do. They're going to like drag their feet on this. And Bitcoin ETF is, whew, it's not likely around the corner. They're not going to let some outsider come in and do this. They're going to keep it centralized as much as possible. That's our fight. We have to make sure the regulators are on our side, and we have to put these people in power that we believe will help us in the crypto space, and vote the ones out that aren't doing anything for the crypto space. That's what we need to do. Keep progressing forward like that. So this is the crypto realm. Leave a like, a sub, a comment. It helps the channel. Play hard, trade smart.